Welcome to the Africa Diaspora News Channel family. My name is Lynient Akotonou making this report. So a white woman claimed that white conservatives marry immigrants not for love, not for care, not for partnership, but for power and control. And why she said so, let's watch the video.
Conservative white men are obsessed with control, and that is why they marry immigrants. There are numerous instances of this, from Donald Trump to Jonathan Ross, the man who just murdered Renee Nicole Good. It is very clear to me that men do not see their wives as people. They see them as an extension of themselves, someone that they want to control completely and totally. That is why you will often see conservative men who are anti-immigration marry women who are immigrants, because these women move from another country for this man. They have no friends and they're terribly isolated. There is no sense of community and no support network, which makes it virtually impossible to leave him, because also if she does, she has to move home. She can't stay in the United States. Jonathan Ross's wife is from the Philippines. Donald Trump's wife is from Slovenia. And it's because this is the perfect way to isolate somebody. Not to mention, there is a whole other racial element of white men going to the Philippines and going to these other countries, literally taking a wife. It's called bride shopping, and they're known as passport bros, and bringing them back to the United States. They don't want a wife who has opinions or rights or autonomy, because then she'll actually recognize he's a loser and leave him, which is why this is an incredibly common pattern rooted in ownership, not in actual support for immigration.
Now, according to her, she said these marriages are often shaped by immigration status imbalance, financial dependence, cultural isolation, and political power dynamics. In simpler terms, the partner holds the legal and social power, while the other is actually vulnerable. Without power, without culture, without backing, without her people behind her. So this immigrant is taken from her people and a system that protects them. And when there is imbalance, abuse and control happens. So she's saying that what they do is that they get married to these guys for power and control. And it's funny how that in this era, we still have men who want to lord over women, who just want to slave women, put them at a vulnerable and disadvantaged position. They do this. Take them away from the one thing they care about. Take them away from power, cultural protection, whatever protection there is, and render them useless, I would say, far away from their land and their people. And family, we see this happening today. For immigrants, especially women who get married to these guys, their marriage might be tied to work authorization, legal residency, or fear of being deported, right? So they just find someone or a white person showing the green lights, they just get married to them. Not wondering or not thinking about how it might affect them in the nearest future. I mean, we've seen videos and we've heard stories of divorce, breakup between a white man and an African lady or a black lady. I mean, they just take these guys from their homelands and use them. Sometimes these immigrants work and work. They slave away in working, providing for the household, while these guys are just there. Yeah, we've seen a story like that. And so we know that when one partner controls the legal works, the paper, the resources, the relationship isn't stable. I mean, women suffer a lot in the hands of these guys. And that's why we warn. Don't get married to these guys. Be careful of who you marry. Now, we're not saying there are no interracial marriages or white people getting married to black people. Some of them are doing excellently well, right? It's worked for them, fine. But some of these guys actually get married to this immigrant because of what the sister said, according to her claims. And we've seen enough to make us believe. We've heard enough to make us to believe. And what makes people uncomfortable is not what she said. It's the pattern, actually. We've seen this play out. Advocacy groups have undocumented cases where deportation is used as a threat to silence the partner. Isolation enforced under the guise of tradition. And immigration status also used as a leverage. This does not represent everyone, but it happens. Well, I would say, it's not true. This happens to people. And immigrants actually accept this because they come from unstable countries where they aren't actually doing well themselves. So they feel, why not just give it a shot? Let me just try. It might yield something for me over here. I might just be all right, stay well, do well for myself, with my husband. They end up being used. So family would ask, is this about race or power? It's not about race alone. Power is involved. In a relationship where one controls every right, legal rights, resources, money, language, access to connection, everything, that relationship, if there is no love, has the potential for abuse. And more often than not, the woman is actually on the receiving end of this whole thing because, of course, she's the immigrant. She was picked. She was married by these guys. So family, this issue isn't about interracial marriage. It's about power imbalance, immigration status of this women, and how they're being abused, used by these few white conservatives, according to the lady. So let's not get it twisted, right? Because I feel, of course, there'll be good men out there. It's not everyone, according to what she said, white conservatives. But let's not put everyone in this bracket because there's some out there that are actually good. It's true. So a good marriage is built on equality, love, partnership, consent, security, freedom. Absence of all this would actually lead to abuse. And this is what some of these immigrants are suffering. So what you have to say about this story, family? Do you think what she said is true or not? Comment your thoughts and do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button. My name is Lynient Akotonou. Thank you for watching.